Now we have a big, huge move from Tether going back to the chart, up 0.02%, which is more than what your bank is paying you to keep money in your savings account. So let that sink in. Let's take a look at the crypto bubbles. So this is a nice visual of what's been pumping. So over the last day, as you can see, we are in the Red Sea. Everything is in the red except for SNX. And I believe when I looked at it before I refreshed it, FTT was up, and you can see here. Where did FTT go? Oh, right.
This is on the week.
This is on the weekly. FTT is up 51%.
Dang.
51%. I did mention at the top of the show, we have some FTX news. And once we go over that news, it might start to make sense why it's pumping. But some of the other big leaders, we have XRD, Arbitrum up 33.2%. Injective Protocol up 30%. That thing was a monster. I believe it was
Arbitrum and Casper's in there.
Yeah, I believe it was AJ from BitBoy who talked about Injective. I might be wrong, but
watch out for Casper. I don't know too much on the details as far as the roadmap. They had a big ICO, but Casper has a monster community. They are super vocal for where they're at on the CoinMarketCap list. I think they're outside the top 50. Either way, they have a ton of community. So you can see with a big community, you can get big rallies out of nowhere there. So
one last quick question. I think it might have came up. You were Hillary Clinton's CFO in the campaign, right?
It's part of my history.
Were you? Yes or no?
In 2016.
Did you facilitate the payment for the Steele dossier since you were CFO of the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Sir.
Yes or no?
Sir.
Yes or no?
That was not.
You're under oath, Chairman Gensler. Yes or no?
I know. It was not something I was aware of.
Got him. So this was not strictly your cryptocurrency. So he threw him a curveball. And obviously, Gary Gensler has a history when it comes to the email situation with Hillary Clinton in the past. And, well, they threw him a curveball. So he dodged that question.
You know, how do the people that have the hearing, when Gary Gensler got, appointed by Joe Biden, there's a hearing and Congress has to say yes. And so you put these people in place. How do you take the, I didn't know. Like, you are the CFO of the campaign. If I hire a CEO for Sin City Crypto and $1 million leaves my bank account, I am going to walk up and be like, what was this? And if you don't know, you're fired. That's all I'm saying.
I actually at MIT taught a course called Blockchain and Money. I taught multiple courses called Crypto Finance and other courses as well.
But you didn't own any crypto.
No.
You taught the course, but you weren't a user in the product.
I did not own crypto assets. They're a highly sensitive asset.
I'm not asking for your view on it. I'm just saying that you're in the business now of making rules and regulations regarding digital assets, but you've taught a class on it. You've never personally owned a digital asset, any crypto, including Bitcoin.
The only digital assets I have is my bank account and my brokerage accounts, but no crypto.
Am I the only one here that finds it extremely hard to believe that a professor for MIT, the leading technology university, that the professor teaching a blockchain course has never purchased a single crypto or Bitcoin?
There's tons of professors that teach business entrepreneurship that have never owned a business.
That's like saying, "Hey, I'm teaching a course on being a chef and I've never cooked food." Like, it's very, very sus to me. And so,
what are you trying to say?
I'm in the camp. I believe that mark this day, the congressional hearing, as the moment, the nail in the coffin. What got Gary Gensler ousted from his position because we know what's on the blockchain is immutable and they're forever and stamped into the ledger. And if there was one transaction by Gary Gensler where he decided to purchase crypto, and if you're teaching a damn class at MIT on how to operate, how crypto operates, how it integrates into finance, blockchain technology, he didn't teach just one course. He taught multiple courses. And yet you're sitting here trying to preach that preach crypto technology.
Are you trying to say Gary Gensler committed perjury?
He bought crypto.
So you're saying he committed perjury in front of Congress?
Yes. I think we're going to look back
based off of your inkling that there's no way he taught a class.
You're teaching a class at MIT on blockchain technology. We're not talking about a community college here. We're talking about MIT, the professor there teaching blockchain technology has never purchased crypto. I find it extremely hard to believe.
We're seeing the M2 money supply start to decrease. And we haven't seen that in a very long time. Last time that happened, we went into a depression. Let that sink in. Go ahead.
Well, if you do keep increasing the interest rate and the system were to break, as we had mentioned, where the banking infrastructure collapses, it doesn't have to happen here in the States. This could happen internationally and then spill over to the United States. And if that were to happen, we saw where the money went when the SVB bank and the banking fiasco started just last month. We saw that giant rally in Bitcoin. It was a 1-for-1. SVB went under, money left, went straight into Bitcoin out of the fears of uncertainty. What's going to happen with your finances and your purchasing power, your savings account. And you know what? Bitcoin was built for this. It came out of the ashes of 2008. That's when the white paper was written. And it's no surprise that it had a pump at the same time that the banks went under. And so if they keep ratcheting up these interest rates and something were to break fundamentally when it comes to the banking system, I would expect a gigantic rally in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, but particularly Bitcoin. So,
yeah. So, word by Bitcoin. Huh? Let's move on. Ethereum fees spike as bots spend millions to front-run punters of highly touted PEPE and Chat coins, an entity connected to a wallet named Jared from Subway. Why do you gotta bring that man into this, man? I thought we forgot about this dude.
He's in jail, right?
I hope so. We forgot about it's been 15-20 years since this clown was. Anyways, named Jared from Subway is sandwiching crypto traders, mainly those betting on tokens such as PEPE and Chat. Sandwich bots are front-running punters of newly issued tokens such as PEPE and Chad, which are meme coins with no intrinsic value. They had to put that in there. Thanks, CoinDesk. A sandwich attack, which traps a user's transaction between two transactions, which is then further manipulated to gain profits. This is done by front-running the victim's trade by buying the same asset and then selling tokens to the victim in the same trade at slightly higher prices. Sandwich attackers aren't typically a form of exploit, but are looked upon in crypto circles as a type of predatory behavior, which skims value from users, leads to a spike in gas fees, and doesn't benefit either the network or the user. Let me tell you guys something.
Wait, are we talking about the current administration?
This happens every single day in the traditional stock market via high-frequency trading. You have bots that come in and you go to buy Apple stock for $205.10. They scoop it up at $205.10. And next thing you know, you bought it at $205.12. Now, that might not seem like a lot of money, 2 pennies, but multiply that by millions. And that is what's happening, but in the crypto space. But I can only imagine if this news story hit the desk of, let's say, Gary Gensler. This is what I'm talking about. There's fraud everywhere, except it's literally happening in his backyard. Donald Trump's second NFT collection sells out within hours. This is sourced from AMB Crypto. So if you remember, Donald Trump already had one. Well, now he's got two because one wasn't enough. Former U.S. President Donald J. Trump's second NFT collection has sold out in record time. The Trump-themed Series 2 of the Trump digital trading cards, which were released on 18th of April, which is yesterday, raked in millions of dollars for the former president. He's been away from every social media outside of his own Truth Social, okay? But he did return to Instagram after more than 2 years to promote the launch of his new digital trading card collection.
Trump is back.
Oh, and look at this. All tokens are to be minted on Polygon. I wonder why they chose that and not something like Solana or Cardano or anyone else. The NFT,
Okay.
The NFT sold out within 6 hours, bringing in $4.6 million. Here is what Donald Trump
Yeah, but
wrote
that was
on.
like 4 people buying them all.
Here is what Donald Trump wrote on Instagram.
I'm kidding.
I hope everyone notices, and I'm sure the fake news won't, that
No,
I'm
no, no,
leaving the
read it.
price.
You gotta read it right. I hope everyone notices. Come on, you can do this.
You can do your Trump voice on this one. Come on.
I hope everyone notices. I'm sure the fake news won't. That I'm leaving the price of trading cards the same as last time, even though they are selling for many times more. It's called the market. And sold out almost immediately. It was great. It was great. Because I want my fans and supporters to make money and have fun doing it.
You sound like a 35-year-old Stewie.
It was huge. I do. Stewie was my favorite on
That was good, though.